Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. One thing you'll notice right now, ES trading within a very, very narrow range so far to begin the session. That narrow range is just 24% of average range on a 10-day basis. So you can see right here 23.9%, just 13.25 points of range today. Very narrow. The preceding day turned out to be a pretty decent trend day up. Still below the average volatility here, average range, as a lot of this over here was real volatile here, lots of range. But now that we've rallied here, we're starting to see this thing rally and hold, rally and hold. The fact that we've pushed through the 44.21s means that this is the upside target still, 45.49.5. And right now, we could be looking at a range-bound day with an upward bias. And that means fading new lows provides the best opportunity for a continuation higher ultimately later in the day. And again, even if we were to pull back some degree here, it could be a good buy the dip opportunity for a continuation higher. So right now, stretching for that upper quarterly high after taking out that midpoint from the previous month. Let's take a look here at the NQ. You'll see here the NQ looks almost identical. Very narrow trading range here today and 24% of average range. A big squeeze here recently after it took out the previous quarter's low. It has now overtaken the previous quarter's midpoint and the previous midpoint of the last month and is stretching to the upside. And again, the upside target to reach up here, 15.7, which is the previous quarter's high. Any pullback could be an opportunity to stretch this thing higher to that upper target. Even a pullback as deep as 15.1 or 15K. While I don't think we get that low, again, any pullback, even that deep, could still be a buying opportunity for a continuation to the upside. Failed new low tomorrow could be in play as well. Let's take a look here at crude oil. Crude has developed a very narrow 4-day range. It's a developing 4-day range. It has already developed a narrow 3-day range. Let's make it a 3-day range right now since it is already locked in. You can see right there. Okay. So we've had a lot of strength here recently, and then we got locked into this 3-day range. We're still inside that range, so it's a narrow 4-day range, but we are currently seeing quite a bit of selling pressure. What I've mentioned here recently, if we can take out the low, which we just did at this moment, and if we can take out the 8-period average here, which we are doing right at this moment, we could see a flush event. That takes us below the 3-day lows, perhaps even 4-day lows. And if we can get a strong low at some point, that strong low can then be used as a strong pivot for a continuation to the upside. Remember, we have an upside target at 86.03 up above, just call it 86 even, and we've been in a very bullish uptrend. Pullbacks below the 8-period average have been defended. Pullbacks kind of like taking out the 3-day lows have been defended. So right here we had a narrow 3-day range. We took out the low here and eventually we rallied. We could see very similar price action here. Not anticipating price staying below 80 for long. Right now we're at 80.89. For the most part, we could see a push that takes us to 80, maybe below it for a brief moment, but would expect some sort of rejection to develop for a continuation up. Something like this again, or this, some pullback and go. So right now, again, letting this thing kind of bleed out a little bit to the downside. Eventually, when price is able to reclaim 3-day lows, the rejection may be done, and we may be looking at a swing move to the upside toward 83.77 as a short-term target, and then 86.03 as a longer-term target. Okay, let's take a look lastly at gold futures. Right now, gold not really doing a whole lot from a directional perspective. Instead, mostly chopping within the range. You have 1760 here, you have 1800 here, and we are chopping within the range. At the moment, we're on the way up within the range, which means we could see a little bit more strength up ahead. We are just above the previous session's high, so if there's a failure to hold 1786s, we could see a pullback to value at 1779 very shortly today. That could just be a return to today's intraday value. We could see a return back toward weekly value, which is as low as 1773.5. So again, watch the 1786 previous session's high. A failure there could lead to a little bit of a rotation back in. Staying above that level could continue to stretch this thing a bit higher toward 1800, but still stuck in the range until proven otherwise. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.